my heart, you guys. We're heading into February, and I thought I would do a quick doodle video to give you some different ideas on what kinds of hearts you can use to doodle in your planner, in your notebook, doodle on all the things. So we're gonna just make this quick. I'm just gonna draw some hearts, tell you what I'm doing while I'm doing it, and yeah, so keep watching if you want to see some hearts being doodled, etc. Typical heart. I usually draw from side to side. Sometimes I know people will do in one big motion, but I find it easier to keep things looking more even and less janky than if I just draw it into two pieces. So this is kind of a basic heart. Sometimes you can make one side bigger than the other, and that can look interesting. You can also make both sides kind of narrow and tall. So making this like the humpy bumps, like bigger boobies rather than tiny boobies. Or you can go the opposite. Make it more flat chested like me. So you have big boobs, you have uneven boobs, all boobs. All boobs are awesome. Just depends on, whatever. I'm going to stop this before I say something embarrassing. You can also, no matter what shape of a heart you do, add a drop shadow to it. So think about where the light is coming from. If the light's coming from this direction, the heart would be casting the shadow on the right and on the bottom. Add some like curliness to your hearts if you want to, like start from the bottom and then curl it in and then bring it to the other bottom. I kind of janked that up, but we can make it even more, noticeable. See how I'm doing that little curly and then bringing it into the inside? And that can be really cute if you play with that. You can also curl it down like that. Add a little tail to it. Tails are fun sometimes. One of my favorite ways to draw a heart when I'm drawing fast is to actually just do it in just one motion. Like that. That was not right. This is where you get the sad face. But a lot of the times when I'm doing them fast, I'll just do them small. Like do little heart, like butterfly type situations. None of them, if you look close, none of them actually look like hearts. It's just a way to add like little tiny scattered hearts. You can draw like a small heart. You can even add bigger sizes to it. Like it's a nesting doll. And this can be fun. You can just do it like this, where you make like a heart with it's like opening up like a flower. Or if you want to, you can start adding patterns inside of it to make it interesting, like add stripes or something inside one heart, and then do another heart and add dots. And that can make something. This is kind of like epic doodling right here. You do like a traditional lacy heart. I've done them a couple different ways. One way is to draw little half circles all around the edges of the heart. And notice I don't even pull my pen off of the paper. I just draw these little humps and bumps in to make it kind of look like a lace Valentine. You can also loosen it up, kind of like a cloud, and do the same thing, but not right up to the edge of the heart. This actually looks kind of like a lion if you're not careful with it. You can add patterns to your hearts. Stripes. Polka dots. If you do polka dots, just remember you want to do some whole dots and some like dots that are on the side. Draw hearts next to each other. Like you could do it a traditional way and just draw two hearts next to each other, or you could overlap them. And the way I do this is I just imagine I'm drawing another heart, but you saw I just sort of followed and then just lifted my pen from the paper to keep drawing the heart. That's one way to do it. If you even wanted to make them like little people, they could be little like happy heart people. You can add elements to the hearts. One of the most signature heart situations is an arrow through the heart, like Cupid's arrow. So there's two ways you can do it. You can draw a line in the middle with the arrow poking out on either end. And if you do that, you can even have these, see how I add these two little tiny lines right to the edges of either side of that? Makes it look like it's piercing the heart, because realism is important here. So that's one way. The other way that you would do the same thing is if you drew your arrow like this. So it's basically like it's piercing through the other direction. You just add the same little lines to indicate piercing again. You just see it just pierces in two different directions. You can also add wings to your heart, kind of like Cupid also. My wings are not exactly fancy. The way I draw them is I draw two like curving down lines like that, and then I just sort of zigzag to make like wing looks, and then maybe even add these little squigglies to like represent feathers. You don't have to. You can make these, if you work on it, you can actually make the wings like much more interesting, you know, like exaggeration. That becomes like a creepy heart. Exaggeration and doing that with any of these, but that's the same as like drawing a heart that's like super exaggerated like this. You can get super stylistic looking if you just mess with the proportions of things, and that you just do for the fun of it. Mess around with it till you find something you like. You can do a heart balloon, which is kind of similar to the other one where we drew the little curly, but this time add yourself a little highlight, which is basically a curved triangle that goes down the curve of the side of the heart. The same kind of situation with the little highlight, and then instead of adding a squiggly for a balloon tail, add two long lines, connect them with a rounded line, and then add some rounded stripes on it, and suddenly your heart becomes a lollipop. And if you want to make it look like it's an unopened lollipop, draw a kind of circle around it, and then just add some zigzaggy lines to represent the crackling plastic wrap or whatever. I also can sometimes draw little heart gardens. This is fun. Just draw some curved lines at the top of each line. Draw yourself a heart. Well, that's a shitty heart, but whatever. Then add some zigzag lines on the bottom to be grass, and you can even add little leaves. This would be fun to add some color to if you wanted to. And you could even add some extra like lines just to make it look cute. There's all sorts of ways you can do it. We can also make it like a little heart gift. So you draw yourself a heart, draw like a rounded off square for the bow, and then draw these two kind of like ovals on either side to make the bow. You can even add little bottom ribbons, and then just add your lines to the top and to the bottom, and suddenly you have a heart present. Add a drop shadow to that, and it can make it even more fun. You see how you can just add these together and like work on them. You can do the same thing in terms of a heart present. Sometimes I'll make this kind of a bow, like or almost like a flower, and then I'll draw the lines to the side. You could even do up and down if you wanted to make another like heart style present. And the last couple hearts I'm going to show you are the broken hearts. Oh, what becomes of the broken-hearted? So I'll do one, and now to do this one, you just want to pay attention to what you're doing. Draw the one side of the heart, draw the other side of the heart, but leave the middle open. Don't connect them to each other. Then on one side, draw some jagged lines. Now on the other side, the important thing is to make sure that the jaggediness kind of meets up. So instead of going in, out like that, I go the same direction that I did for the other one. And that creates a broken heart. And you can even add some like lines to it to like kind of represent like the crunch. And then if you would like to mend your broken heart, draw yourself a heart, put a rectangle in it, lines going to be the band-aid, add some little dots to represent like the band-aid, and then just draw some jaggedy lines underneath to represent the crack. And the final heart doodle I'm going to show you is actually not much of a heart doodle. It's just my favorite way to doodle a heart when I'm doodling. Is if you have an I in your name and you were a girl and you did this when you were a kid, you don't have to be a girl to do this either. I used to just put a little heart for my name. It's one of my favorite doodles to do with a heart. Just saying. So these are some heart doodles. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you like doodling hearts. Hearts are fun, and you can add to them and subtract for them and mess with them until you have something cool and use them all over your planner and make February a veritable heart. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.